Hello and welcome to this After Effects tutorial. Today I will be showing you how to make something similar to the effect used in Back to the Future. So this isn't going to be exactly the same as the effect used in the film, as in each film it's slightly different and mine is different to each of those. So we'll call this a inspired by effect. I wasn't going to make a tutorial for this, but it was requested by Alexandro in the comments of the before and after video I uploaded. So I don't actually have the footage I used for it, but I'll be using this stock footage that I got from stockfootageforfree.com. Link will be in the description, along with any other stock footage I use for this. So check that out if you want any other stock footage. So now I'm over in After Effects. I've got my footage here and I'm just going to give this a quick playthrough. Like I said, I got this from stockfootageforfree.com. Very helpful website, they do all sorts of stuff. I'm not advertising them, just saying they're good. It's always good to have a range of stock footage, and you'll see some uses of that today in this tutorial. And the first thing I've done to this footage is sped it up, because the car needs to be looking like it's going 88 miles per hour if you want it perfectly to the film. As you can see, there it is, left to right. I'm just giving this a quick render. You'll notice at the end of this scene, it actually drives off and goes to a blank slate of just the road, and that's key. If you film this, make sure you get a blank slate, and I'd also recommend not moving the camera, as it helps. You know, you'd have to do a load of tracking. But anyway, what I'm going to do is find where I want this car to disappear, somewhere in the middle of the shot. So if I just take this back, and I want it to drive on and disappear about here, and I'm going to press Control Shift D or Command Shift D, depending on whether you're on a Mac or a PC. And what that does is split the layer. As you can see there, I've now got two layers and it's been split down the middle. So I'm going to take this backwards a little bit, this top one here, until we reach that blank slate. And that's going to be the car disappearing. There we go. So I'm just going to extend it from the back there, and then take the front off, just here where we made the cut, and that makes this. Bang, the car's gone. Now you'll see the trees in the background go quite suddenly. So I'm just going to drag the footage in and then press T, and what that'll do is bring up the opacity, set it to 0 at the beginning of the fade, go to the end 3 frames later here, and 100%, and that'll give us this nice little fade, which will take the attention off the trees slightly. They seem to sort of blend a little better than that sudden thing. Also, the car, it's going to help the car disappear later as well. Makes it all less sudden. I mean, here it is without. It's a bit obvious that we're just sort of blatantly just cutting, which we're trying to make this as subtle as possible. Okay, so next up we're going to be focusing on creating the portal that will cover up the fade of the car. Now, to do this, I'm going to be using some stock footage. As you can see, I've already imported some. We're going to be using 2 or 3 bits, and I'm going to start by using the shockwave here. And this is from Video Copilot's shockwave package. There is a free version of this with less shockwaves in. The link will be in the description. I'll be using this one here. Scroll through it quickly. Now it's not quick enough, so I'm going to speed it up quickly by going to time and time stretch, and I'm just going to put in 10 here. So it all occurs a little bit faster and is a lot quicker and should match what we need. Now, next up I'm going to go to the mode. If you don't have a mode, it's this little button down here. I'm going to just go ahead and click it to add, which will take out all that black, and we'll have this. Now, as you can see, it sort of surrounds the car. I'm just going to quickly scale it down by pressing S, and about 50 should do. And the car drives into it almost. It starts just before the car drives into it and then disappears. That's quite nice. That actually works pretty well. And as you can see, you can still make out the car in the middle there, and we're going to cover this up by using some more stock footage. And I've got it over here already. This is Hit 4 front. This is from Video Copilot's magic stock footage package. Again, link in the description. Completely free, all this. I'm just going to speed it up as well, move it into place, and here we go. As you can see with this one, it's more of a smoky effect. Quickly click add as well. Scale it down like we did the last thing, move it into place, and this is going to cover more of the center of it, making it a little bit less noticeable that the car's disappearing. Scale a bit more there. Now, we could just use that, or we could just use the shockwave on its own, but together they sort of make this perfect effect, because the shockwave happens and it smokes. Here it is without, like I said, you can see in the middle, and then the smoke on its own makes it look a bit too like a magician sort of thing, but together it makes this sort of really cool portal, and then it sort of turns into smoke afterwards, which I think is really cool. We're also going to use another hit from the magic stock footage, speeding it up once again, but this time we're going to press minus 15. This means it's also reversed as well as speeded up, and if I move that into place there and let's grab it over, as you can see it plays backwards. Now the point for this is when we go ahead and click add, it'll sort of start outside of the effect and then sort of bring into the middle, and it'll just add to it. So let's quickly position this in the right place, and probably needs a bit of scaling. Let's move it to the middle there. There we go. That's not too bad. I'm going to quickly rotate it slightly by pressing W on the keyboard. Move it a bit more. Oh, it's come out of the centre there. I've got snapping on. If you want to turn that off, it's just at the top of the screen. I'm going to leave it on for now. That's okay, I like that, so that's good. So if we play that through quickly. So next up you want to go ahead and add a new layer, a solid, and make it black. And I'm just going to press the Command Shift D like we did before at the beginning of there, and just after the portal sort of starts to disappear, so about there. Command Shift D, and I've deleted the two sections there, so we've just got the middle bit. Now I'm just going to go over to the effects and presets and type in advanced lightning. Here it is. Drop that onto that one there, and I'm just going to adjust this here. The lightning type we want as anywhere, and we want to move the origin point, which is this one here, to the center of the smoke and portal type thing. And we'd actually need the origin keyframed, but the outer radius we do, and we want to just bring it in to start with, and then add a keyframe there, which will appear at the beginning. Then move it in a bit and move the outer radius. We want to just match it up so it's just slightly outside of the portal effect. Now just moving it forward again, making it large, and at the midpoint we want to start bringing it back in, so we're just going to drag it straight back to the middle. If you press U on the keyboard, it'll bring up the keyframes here, and I'm just going to delete this one here, and that should do it for me anyway, which it does. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to go ahead to the conductivity state, and just press the keyframe, then move to the end, and I'm just going to put in any random number, just drag it to 16 there. And what will happen, that will change its position randomly for me. If you go ahead and go to the core now, we're just going to adjust the way it looks, so let's get a bit where it's on screen. The core and the glow are what you're going to be changing. I'm changing the glow so it's a bit smaller, and the core so it's a little bit larger. In fact, I'm going to turn the glow up a little bit more. The key thing is you want to change the glow color to white, and then go ahead and add it as well, because that will change the color later on. Go ahead and duplicate that with Command D or Control D, and then by pressing U again, just adjust the conductivity state once more by turning it on and off, and just putting two more random numbers in at the start and the beginning, which will then give us this sort of effect when we play it through. Oh, on a second, gone and ruined that there. If we play it through now, you can see the lightning sort of on the edge there, and it sort of just adds a bit more to it, especially because we'll be using a bit more lightning a bit later on. Now what I'm going to do is pre-comp all of these, so they're all in one little pre-comp, and to do that we just go ahead and select them all by pressing Shift and clicking on the top one and the bottom one, then pressing Command Shift C or Control Shift C. I'm going to name this Blast. Make sure Removal Attributes is selected, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Add on this to put that mode back in place, and we'll have this Now I'm just going to quickly save it because we don't want to lose any of this. I'm going to go ahead and type in vibrance. Now this is another free effect this time, link in the description once more, and we're going to use this to colour it. There are other things available to colour it if you want, if you don't want to download this, but like I said, it is free. Do whatever you want with this really. I mean, this is just to put in a colour and a bit of glowing, bit of sort of light in there. Really cool little effect. Right, so next up what I'm going to do is just turn this layer here, this blast layer, into a shy layer by clicking this. And what that'll do is if I click here, it disappears from the timeline, but it's still actually visible in the player. So it's a nice little neat trick to tidy up your timeline, in case you didn't know that. I'll be using that quite a bit because things are going to get messy. I'm going to turn these two off to start with. And what we're going to do now is add the fire line that the car leaves behind after it's travelled through the portal. Now, to do this, I'm using the stock footage from Action Essentials, which unfortunately is the only stock footage I'll be using in this that isn't free, so I can't leave a link to where to get that. But I'll be using it anyway. There might be some stuff available online. Just make sure that it's above everything so far so we can actually see it, and we can turn those shy layers back on. So first off, I'm going to be just clicking on add to make this blend in with the composition a bit nicer. And then next up, I'm just going to turn this off on the visibility there so we can see where the car would be. And I'm going to line up this fire using the 3D mode and rotating it and positioning it so it would be where the car goes. So for this particular footage I need to rotate it like that. I'm using W on the shortcuts there to rotate and V for the positioning. I'm also just going to scale it down slightly by using the corner pins and move this into place like so. There we go. Right, so it's just simply lining it up with the tyres and where it would be. And then if I play that through, you can sort of see there it would be. And once you've got this, you just want to go up to the top left of your screen and double click up here on the rectangle tool, which will just put a mask in for you on the edges of your footage. Now with the mask, just drag it in like so, and we're going to go ahead and create a feather of about 50, and also we want to keyframe the mask path. That's because a few frames down the line we want to drag this, just this one, so it will appear on screen like so. There we go. Now once you've got that, bearing in mind you want to sort of keep it at the same speed as what the car would be going, but once you've got that, just simply duplicate it, which is Command D, Control D again, and just move these keyframes to a random part of the footage, and then move that footage in line with the other keyframes so your fire is not identical. And then you just want to move it over simply like so, lining up with the tyre once again, and that will give us this. There we go. Firelight, pretty simple bit, probably the easiest bit in this whole tutorial, but if I turn these shy layers back on and move the blast above them and then find where the blast starts about there, I'm going to cut both of those fires, Command Shift D, and then I'm going to delete the first part of that, and what will happen here, the blast will cover up the fire coming in and everything will be perfectly fine. Let's give this a quick watch. So next up, we're going to just go ahead and go into the blast layer by double clicking it, and I'm going to just copy one of the lightning layers that we've got by pressing Command C or Control C, just simple copy and paste it, which is Command V, Control V, and this will give us the lightning from before on this composition. And we're just going to adjust this so we can get a different bit of lightning that we need. And first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and grab this and turn it to strike. I'm going to turn the keyframes on and off so we can get new ones, and just simply go forward a few frames and line up the direction one and the origin one. And I'm going to take these into the middle of the portal, like so. These are going to be sort of shooting into the portal and looking like it's almost creating it, so let's just get new keyframes. Let's move this slightly, and there we go. This is where I want the portal to sort of happen, and by taking it back a bit, I can move the origin and the direction to the sort of corner of the car, like so. And then moving, just cutting that bit off quickly, moving forward a bit, I want the origin to still be on the car, so it almost looks like it's firing first and then shooting. By pressing U, I can bring those keyframes up, and I'm actually just going to move this one slightly. So this gives us this. Now, that looks quite good. I like that. And what I'm going to do to this is duplicate it 4 times, and the 3 new ones are going to move to different corners of the car. I'm just going to do this really quickly, because it's exactly the same sort of thing, so you don't need to see this. And what that will give us is this. I've also just quickly changed the thickness of the lightning bolt as well, because it's a bit far away from the camera, this one, so bearing in mind the size needs to change the further it gets away. Now next up, I'm going to paste a new lightning in. I'm going to zoom in, and with this lightning I'm going to just quickly extend this like so. You can see it's on the road at the moment. That's just because the keyframes, so let's turn them on and off. And I'm just going to go around the number plate with this, because this whole car is meant to be bursting with energy. So I'm just going to go around sort of visible bits like wind mirrors or lights or windshield, number plate in this case, and I'm just going around this frame by frame. So when we play it back, it basically looks like it's sort of circling the number plate. And I'm just going to do this to loads of different bits. I'll do this off camera, because this is basically what you've got to do for each bit. So here's me just doing some finishing touches, and what I've done there is basically just repeating what we've done already, is adding loads of lightning, adding some more portal effects sort of thing. And what we're doing with this is the car's firing a few out, and then it finally gets that one that makes it travel in time. So just add a few of these in, add the lightning, and you'll get a sort of finished effect which will look really neat, like the one I'm about to show you. I've also added a bit of camera shake there. You can see a few lens flares just to sort of brighten up the sort of effect, but that's basically it. So thank you for watching. Like I said, this tutorial was requested by Alexandro, and if you ever see any of my videos that you want making into tutorials, just simply ask in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.